Since it was first introduced to the global market in 2004, the BMW 1 Series has sold just on 2.5 million units. It's been a great success story for the brand, but most of those sales, 80% in actual fact, have been European-based and in the UK. In South Africa, we do struggle getting our heads around a BMW that's a hatchback. That, after all, is the domain of the VW Golf, but it's a really solid product. And the third generation, there have been some really significant changes. Yeah, I know. You want me to address the big talking point, don't you? Wait, let's start with the styling. It looks really good. There is no mistaking the 1 Series as part of the BMW family thanks to its larger mesh kidney grille, which has been reimagined for the more compact, sportier hatch. It's now connected and serves as a key air intake. The headlights feel pulled back and they do sit higher up, and the air intakes have a vertical edge which really squares off the front end and gives it a really aggressive presence. In profile, the front-wheel drive architecture has really changed the 1 Series proportions. It's more cab forward with a shorter bonnet. The rear does mirror the front's wide athletic stance, finished off of course with the two large tailpipes. Shock, horror, a BMW on a front-wheel drive platform. Oh my word, what are they thinking? This was what you guys said when they launched the 2 Active Tourer. So let me give you the benefits of going onto this front-wheel drive platform. Rear legroom. That was always a compromise for BMW with their rear-wheel driven vehicles. The headroom's also fantastic. This, for me, in driving position, is very, very comfortable. This does look tricky though, and you think, oh my word, how am I going to get in the car? It has been improved. It's actually not too difficult getting in and out if you know where to put your head. So that's cool. That's a good improvement. You know what else is good? The boot has been improved, and it needed to. So you've now got 380 litres, and if you use the practicality of a hatchback, flip the seats forward, it goes up to 1,200 litres. It is not class leading by any means. And it seems like that's where Golf does get it right. They don't sacrifice practicality for design and looks. And who better to talk us through the interior than the project manager, Simon Sebastian.
What can I help you with?
The 1 Series is a very young and modern car, so therefore it's the most modern car that we have in the BMW lineup. So for us it's a very important car because it gives you the entry into the BMW family. The first thing is really the proportions of the interior and of each and every piece. So the dashboard, for example, is very athletic and very low and slim and slender. The second thing, the design theme, they're very much focused around you. And the third thing is really the details. That's, you know, the chrome trims and the buttons and the quality and the fit and finish and everything. These 3 things really make up the entire character of the car. We wanted to get away from the very classic mix of, you know, wood trim and aluminum and chrome trim, this kind of mix that you find in a lot of other cars. So with this one we tried something new, and we wanted light to be the value element of the material mix.
Yeah, enough already talking about styling and connectivity. Let's talk about the things that really concern us. Is the new M135 going to drive like a real, genuine BMW? I know you couch critics have been really concerned about it, so let's start with the engine. Seems like a good place. 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo technology, something that VW have done for a long time, obviously, with Golf R. And it's something that Mercedes-Benz has really blown the segment away with in terms of insane levels of performance from this engine. 225 kilowatts, 450 newton meters. I know you're going, oh, this isn't that impressive. Well, it actually is, because its direct competitors would be Golf R and would be the soon-to-be launched A35. They're saying 0 to 100, 4.8 seconds. The way they've achieved this, well, it's got a launch control system, that is good, and obviously it's now all-wheel drive, and they've managed to reduce weight in the 3rd generation 1 Series. Now, you know, powerful front-wheel drives and all-wheel drives tends to understeer when you're pushing hard. That nose just doesn't want to turn in. So this is obviously critical for BMW and something they focused on big time.
First of all, the M135i comes with a mechanical differential, a torsion limited slip differential, which gives it already, let's say, a sharper edge for the performance.
But they've also brought in some technology which comes straight out of the i3. They call it ARB. So this tech they've now brought for the first time to a combustion engine. And it works really well because it actually is coupled to the vehicle stability control system. The little unit that controls it is put right there in the engine, so it's not sending signal backwards and forwards. It's super quick, super direct, so it's able to alleviate any of the slip.
And we have the so-called BMW performance control, which does dynamic braking. So if you come into understeer, it also brakes the inner wheel. And it also turns, the car follows really good your intended turn.
Initially, it's going to take you a bit of getting used to because this is not a rear-wheel drive BMW, so it does feel different. So I think you've got to put on your Golf GTI cap because you know what that feels like when you're driving it, and try and adopt the exact same feeling in this car, and then you'll start getting really, really impressed. And for me, they've certainly captured the spirit of a fun car to drive. Oh yeah, and the sound isn't bad either when you're nailing it like this. I think the biggest objection is going to be, you know, when you're driving normally, even in sport mode, there's no crack and pop and all that other synthetic nonsense, which unfortunately I think is important to a lot of consumers. What's more important to me is how does it feel through the corners, how well balanced is it, and they've worked hard at getting the balance right. With the 1 Series, they've got that multi-link rear axle across the board. A-Class doesn't do that. That is really, really good. So all of you armchair critics that are giving the 1 Series a hard time because of this front-wheel drive architecture, do yourself a favor, pipe down, drive one, and then give us your comment. I think they've done a fantastic job, the engineers, in terms of maintaining that sheer driving pleasure BMW is always known for. I think having an all-wheel drive system, it actually allows you... Yes, in actual fact, it is $699,000. That is a good price because it actually undercuts its competitors. We are coming to market with the M135 as well as the 118, and later when it does eventually launch, the 120 diesel as well. But back to the driving dynamics, they've done a fantastic job. I think having an all-wheel drive system is more engaging for the average driver. You're going to be able to get more of the performance out of this vehicle in a safe way. Rear-wheel drive can be quite intimidating. Fantastic job. It looks good. Critical for me. Big improvement from a space perspective as well. 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo engine. That is what they're racing in DTM this year, BMW. So I'm expecting a lot more punch and power to come in the future. Even though BMW ditched the rear-wheel drive setup in favor of a front-wheel drive platform, the latest 1 Series still delivers on the premise of how a BMW should drive, be it a little different. After the break though, we conclude Women's Month with some of the most prosperous and influential ladies in the motoring industry.